This family health and wellness segment is brought to you by GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Healthcare.
Lucozade and Espresso are teaming up to celebrate everyday energy heroes, the day-to-day superstars who fit 1,000 things into 24 hours in style. Lucozade, do it with energy.
Not all jobs are created equal, especially when talking mental and physical demands. Ever wondered what top 10 rated toughest jobs in the world are? Serving as a Navy officer, soldier and policeman. Also up there on the top 10 list, slogging it out in a 5-star kitchen. Hours on your feet, sharp utensils, the fear of injury to life and limb, all while creating sensory delight. It's no mean feat and certainly not for everyone.
If there's one person who understands working under fire on a daily basis, handling both mental and physical pressure, then surely it's the executive chef of a busy hotel restaurant.
Honing her craft in kitchens from Cyprus to London and cooking for stars including Madonna, Elton John and Rod Stewart, no task is too daunting for Executive Chef Sanel Esterhuyse.
So now I've been marveling at the perfectly manicured dishes coming out of your kitchen, and I take it takes some kind of planning to put this together. Take me through that process.
There's a lot of planning involved in the morning, so you'll come in early. Obviously, you'll check what the night chef had done, is breakfast set up, how many guests we have in the house, what the functions are for the day, and then we'll plan our day accordingly. The kitchen's divided in different sections, so each section would have their own particular duty and their own particular speciality. You know, from the saucier to the vet section to the guys who just make fresh pastas. I always think of a kitchen as a bit of a symphony, you know, where each individual section has its own part to play to produce a beautiful, beautiful song.
So obviously, as the conductor of this huge symphony orchestra, you've got to be focused. A lot of mental stamina goes into your work. How do you keep it up?
You know, your day is compartmentalized, and you have different service periods and different times when there's really high pressure on it. And I think you build up to that high pressure, and that incredible rush that you get and that adrenaline that comes with being focused and being serious about what you're doing. Every single day brings something different, and you have to stay sharp and focused in order to deliver every single time.
You're also no stranger to long periods of work, so tell me about how you manage the physical aspect of your job.
You get used to it, absolutely. I mean, your day could be anything from an 8-hour day to a 14-hour day where you're physically standing on your feet the entire time, but I think you get used to it. Number two, you love what you're doing. So you're passionate, you're energized. So running around, having multiple functions to focus on, multiple events and things happening, that really, really excites me. And I think that's what pushes you through.
So what about personal life? How do you manage the two? Professional life, personal life?
What personal life? Work is my life. You know, I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about what I do. And if it means being here 24 hours a day to make sure that it's right, then that's what I'll have to do.
Now, of course, many years of hard work and training under different chefs led you to where you are now. What kind of advice would you give to young chefs who want to be where you are?
I think what you need to do is just focus on your job at the time, doing your work and doing to the best of your ability, and then try to experience as many different cuisines, many different cooking styles, and really absorb. You know, you steal with your eyes, you steal little ideas and little tricks wherever you go. Some great advice I got before from a chef of mine was, if you want to be in that next position, start acting as if you're in that position already. Somebody's going to recognize you, and somebody's going to say, well, you know, here's the person for the job, and it'll be yours.
So if I'm checking off my ingredients list, you definitely have to be focused, very organized. You've got to do your best at what you do, and you've got to have burning passion.
It's like the perfect recipe for a very, very successful career in cooking.
Lucozade was on hand to give these everyday energy heroes a well-deserved boost of energy. Here's to all those who handle high pressure with style. We salute you. It's just a night-shifting, 5-starring, midnight oil-burning kind of energy. Lucozade, do it with energy.
Well, I think there's no doubt at all that Sanel Esterhuyse is definitely an impressive chef, and my taste buds can bear testimony to that. She definitely takes pressure within her stride, and the best part of it was afterwards getting to just sit down to a meal with all those dishes that they'd prepared on the day. Now, talking about pressure jobs, we want to find out about what makes you, what makes you positive out there? Well, how do you deal with pressure, and how do you go on about it? And somebody who definitely knows about that is Liesl Stefan, who tells us about, she's a life coach at Strong Foundation, and she has dealt with many people that have been in these kinds of situations and advised them on that. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you.
And I hope that you are feeling very, very much at home with
I am.
Bob and Bella. Really just kind of warming up to you, are they?
Definitely, and I sincerely hope my dogs aren't watching, because they would be terribly
very,
jealous.
very jealous.
Buzz therapy.
Now, we're talking about high-pressure jobs, and they are, I mean, I think if you think think about it, the spectrum of pressure is wide, as the job is. I mean, when you think of firemen that have a different kind of pressure, Navy divers that we've worked with have physical pressures. Doctors face emotional stress. Sanel was talking about being focused for long periods of time. So different kinds of stress. Is there kind of a one solution of dealing with it, or does it differ? How do you deal with pressure?
It's interesting because when you think about pressure, the physiological response that we have to it is pretty much the same. It doesn't matter which area we feel the pressure in, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental stress that we're experiencing. Your body will go into that natural fight or flight response. So you're talking about sympathetic nervous responses, neurotransmitters, all of those things that get our juices flowing.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to happen. The one thing that is quite interesting is that I almost want to say the symptoms that we'll feel when we experience those different pressures in the different areas will be different.
Yes.
When we're feeling physical stress, you might experience things like headaches or even, tense shoulders, which is a very typical thing that we feel. Not sleeping well, not feeling that you've got the appetite you used to. When we're feeling emotional pressure, you might experience things like being a bit more demotivated than normally, feeling irritated. And even, mental pressure can stop our creative thinking or our innovation. So there's those different responses that we will feel that's different. But the physiological response is exactly the same, because stress puts us in a position where we're challenged by change, and our bodies is normally one of those things that try to keep things the same. We're not people who like change. We're people of habit. So unfortunately, anything that interferes with what we're normally used to will cause you to feel any kind of pressure or strain. And it's true. It's true what you've said.
Well, we did ask to get some calls in, and we have Doris now on the line. Doris, good morning to you. How are you feeling this morning?
Morning, Katlego. I'm feeling okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Where are you calling us from, Doris?
I live in Cape Town, but I'm in Grahamstown right now.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Tell me a little bit about your job and the high pressure points of it.
Okay, I run a business. I won't say what it is because it would be advertising. But I employ 20 people, and as the 25th comes, they all get excited, and I get stressed about who has paid me, so I can pay them, and month end.
Wow.
And I use a lot of aromatherapy oils to keep me calm during the day. So like I've got little things that I inhale, and my best switch off or relaxing is to have a bath in some oils in the evening. And if I don't have time for that, then I just use some like massage oils, because the smells make you stop and breathe. And that's what I find is my best tool.
That sounds like an amazing tip, and I think also one that's used by a lot of people as well. Thank you very, very much for that, Doris. We really appreciate your call. Sitting down to sitting to a nice bath, or maybe having some incense in your house that just kind of calms you down a little bit.
Definitely. When we have to manage our pressure, there's definitely benefit in involving your senses when you're relieving that pressure for yourself. Things that bring you joy. Textures, like velvet,
That's why I like my velvet jackets.
There we go, see? If you think about an animal like an alpaca, that is something that they actually use for therapy with children who are experiencing high pressure or stress. The texture just calms them down completely. Dolphins, the smoothness of them, the feeling of them. Fuzz therapy is a brilliant thing. Smells, colors that you even enjoy.
Wow.
So those are things that definitely bring us relief. And I think all of us should be aware of what is it that you really enjoy. What are the kind of smells that work for you? What are the kind of tastes that you enjoy? Your favorite chocolate, a cup of coffee.
And take the time to really enjoy those.
Absolutely.
Liesl, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate your time. And so there you have it. If you're working in a very high pressure, intensive kind of environment, do take the time to enjoy those little things that help you just to switch off and recharge yourself. Again, we're going to take a very quick ad break. We'll be right back.